Here's a case where predicting the question can help me in a way that's a little different from how we've seen it at other parts in this test, right? We've been normally using it to think about punctuation rules and how we want to solve a question with like verbs or pronouns or anything like that. Here we're going to use it a little differently because there's no grammar rule that is at play here. But I would still be able to look at this question, these choices, and predict what the question is asking just by the fact that choice D is so short. Now, I'm circling it because I'm pretty confident it's right without even reading this sentence, because I know that the essay's preferred style on the SAT's preferred style is keep it short. A rule I'm violating by rambling and repeating myself. So keep it short. Now, if I see a question where one choice is so much shorter than all the others, I know that that's probably right because it's cutting out extra stuff. And I know I have to read the sentence and actually do the question to prove that, but this rule works. And I know a lot of times people are like, well, what if it's cutting out stuff we need? Yeah, then we wouldn't be able to cut it out. But take some SATs, learn this pattern, you'll see that it never happens that we're cutting out too much. Like, I can't even think of a question on all the practice tests and real tests that I've ever seen where we couldn't cut out what we wanted to cut out because it was essential. That's just not the way the SAT operates. These questions are usually cutting out extra stuff. So now as I go into the sentence and the paragraph, I'm looking for the extra. Somewhere, they're probably repeating this piece that they cut out. So let's look at what's originally there. A shifting arm or leg might even disappear because of the lengthy exposure time. So it seems like because of the lengthy exposure time required is the extra piece, right? Because it's not in choice D. And if we look at the other choices, look, B, an arm or leg shifting during the long exposure time required by the wet plate photography might even disappear. So long exposure time required. C, a wet plate photographer's subject's arm or leg might even disappear during this long exposure time. That's the piece that we're cutting out. And most people just look at these choices and start thinking about the best way to arrange that piece within the choices and going with what sounds best in that way. But from experience, I know it's probably extra. It's probably something that they want me to get rid of. And so it's not about putting it in the right place. The right place is the garbage can. We got to get rid of it. And so let's look for that somewhere else. The sentence right before. Since the film requires long exposures, moving subjects blur. It literally says it in the sentence before. Therefore, we don't need it in the sentence after. Like, it's that simple. They didn't hide it either. It's very obvious. The only thing that gets people is they don't think to look to that sentence because they're not getting their brains on the right path. So this is why the predict the question strategy can be so powerful. Normally, I don't think I'd read that extra sentence because I'd have faith that like I can just read the underlined one or I'm just lazy. But the more you practice, the more you're going to notice these patterns between the tests and the questions. And here's one where because I've practiced, because I've taken other tests with other questions just like this one, I know from the start that shorter is better. And it's probably the case that the shorter is better here as well. And I'm just looking for the reason that proves it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the answer regardless. So keep this in mind, okay? Like, know what's going on in a question as much as you can before you actually start solving it, so that way your brain is in the right place to be looking for the right things, following the right rules, obeying the right style rules, all that stuff, and then this question becomes like super easy. Like I said, I got it right before I even looked at it. I was just doing all the looking to confirm what I already knew because I know the test so well.